Daf Yomi, Tractate, Bava, page 83a at the top of the page with the words Lashon Sursi Lama. Why would one speak Syriac? Why would one speak the Syriac language? One should speak either the sacred tongue, Hebrew, or the Greek language. And Rabbi Yossi says similarly, in Babylonia, why would one speak the Aramaic language? One should speak either the sacred tongue or the Persian language. At any rate, Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi's statement indicates that there is nothing wrong with learning and speaking Greek. The sages say in response, the Greek language is discreet, and Greek wisdom is discreet. In other words, these are two separate issues. Only Greek wisdom is prohibited, not the Greek language. The Gemara further pursues this line of inquiry, and is Greek wisdom itself actually prohibited? But doesn't Rav Yehuda say that Shmuel says, in the name of Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, it is written, "My eye affected my soul because of all the daughters of my city." Lamentations 3:51. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel applied this verse to a personal tragedy. There were 1,000 children in the household of my father. Rabban Gamliel, 500 of them studied the Torah, and 500 of them studied Greek wisdom. All of them were killed by the Romans. And the only ones that remain of them are I, who is here, and the son of my father's brother, who is in Asia Minor, his cousin basically. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel's statement indicates that it is permitted to study Greek wisdom. The sages say in response, the household of Rabban Gamliel is different, as they held close ties with the government. Since knowledge of Greek wisdom was crucial for the matters of this family, the sages exempted them from the general decree, as it is taught in the Braita. With regard to one who cuts his hair in the fashion of komi, a certain haircut favored by the Romans, this is considered one of the ways of the Amorites. In other words, a Gentile practice prohibited by the Torah. Leviticus 18:3. Despite this, the sages permitted Avtalmos bar Ruvain to cut his hair in the fashion of komi because he had close ties with the government. Likewise, they permitted the members of the household of Rabban Gamliel to discuss matters of Greek wisdom because they had close ties with the government. The Mishnah teaches a person may not raise a dog unless it is tied with chains. The sages taught in a Braita a person may not raise a dog unless it is tied with a chain, but he may raise a dog in a city that is close to the border of a country, and in that case he should tie it during the day, but may release it at night. It is taught in a Braita that Rabbi Eliezer the Great says, one who raises dogs is like one who raises pigs. The Gemara asks, what is the practical significance of this statement? Since both are prohibited, what is the point of this comparison? The Gemara answers the significance is with regard to determining when one is liable to be cursed for it. Rabbi Eliezer is saying that the same curse meted out to the one who raises pigs applies to the one who raises dogs. Rav Yosef bar Minyumi says that Rav Nachman says, Babylonia is considered like a city close to the border, and therefore it is permitted to raise dogs there. The Gemara qualifies this statement in this context. Babylonia is interpreted as referring only to Neharda, a city that was close to the border. With regard to raising dogs, Rabbi Dostai from Biri expounded, It is written in connection to the Ark of the Covenant. And when it rested, he said, Return, O Lord, to the myriads of the thousands of Israel. Uvenucha yomar shuva Hashem rivavos alfei Israel. Numbers 10:36. This verse serves to teach you that the divine presence does not rest upon the Jewish people if they number fewer than 2,002 myriads, where one myriad is equal to 10,000. The plural form of myriads and thousands indicates at least two of each. If there are lacking one individual from this total, and there was a pregnant woman among them who was fit to complete the number by giving birth, and a dog barked at her and she miscarried as a result of the fright, this owner of the dog is found to have caused the divine presence to depart from the Jewish people. There was a certain woman who entered a certain building to bake. A dog barked at her. Its owner said to her, Do not be afraid of it. Its canine teeth have been removed. She said to him, It is too late for your reassurances. Take your favors and throw them on the thorns. I have felt that the baby has already moved from its place in the womb and will not be born alive. The Mishnah teaches, one may spread out traps for pigeons only, if this was performed at a distance of at least 30 ris, which is 8,000 cubits, from any settled area to ensure that privately owned pigeons are not caught in the traps. The Gemara asks, and do pigeons really travel that far from their established places? But didn't we learn in the Mishnah in Bava 23a, one must distance a dovecote 50 cubits from the city, so that the pigeons that settle in the cotes do not eat the crops that grow in the gardens of the city. This shows that the range of a pigeon is only 50 cubits, whereas 4 mil is 8,000 cubits. Abaye said pigeons fly much more than 50 cubits away from their cotes, but their stomachs become full from the food they find within 50 cubits, and therefore they do not eat any more beyond that range. The Gemara asks, and with regard to flying, is their range only 30 ris and no more? But isn't it taught in a Braita, in a settled area one may not spread out a trap for pigeons, even at a distance of 100 mil from the settlement? This indicates that a privately owned pigeon might be trapped even 100 mil away from a settled area. Why then does the Mishnah permit trapping beyond 4 mil? Rabbi Yosef said the Braita is not talking about an ordinary city, but about a settled area where vineyards are grown. Since the pigeons rest in the vineyards as they travel, they are able to traverse great distances. Rabbah stated a different answer. The Braita is dealing with a settled area where there are many dovecotes in which they can rest from their flight. The Gemara asks, if there are many dovecotes along the way, let the Tana derive the prohibition against setting pigeon traps due to the dovecotes themselves. Since the Mishnah teaches that it is prohibited to trap pigeons within 4 mil of privately owned dovecotes, it should be irrelevant that there is a city 100 mil away. The Gemara answers, if you wish, say, that the Braita is dealing with dovecotes that belong to a Gentile, and the prohibition against trapping pigeons from private dovecotes applies only to birds owned by Jews. If you wish, say that the Braita is dealing with abandoned dovecotes that are ownerless, or if you wish, say that it is referring to dovecotes that are his. That is, they belong to the same individual who is setting the pigeon trap. Hadron alach Meruba. May we return to you, Meruba. The Seventh chapter of Bava Kama? The seventh chapter, hold on now. Seventh chapter of Bava Kama. Of Bava Kama. Chapter 7. Hold on now. Yeah, that's it. Seventh chapter, I believe. Hamerubah. Hadran Allah. Hamerubah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.